Hi, welcome back everyone. I thought I'd do a video today where I dig a little bit into the 3DS on the AYN Odin Pro. We're going to be using Citra MMJ, and this is also going to be a little bit of a comparison video as well with the 3DS. This is one I got last year and I fell in love with it for quite a bit. And the PlayStation Vita. Both of these are modded, and I see some argument that some people lately saying that maybe the AYN is a bit too big, not quite as pocketable, but definitely travel friendly. Obviously the 3DS and the Vita are smaller, so maybe you can see some nice comparisons and make an informed decision through that. We're going to open up Citra MMJ, and what I've done is I'm going to be testing out Kid Icarus Uprising, and I have changed the controls so that the D-pad is now the right stick. This is something I really wanted to play on the 3DS, except I have the new 3DS XL, and when holding the two, this one's definitely at least a third heavier. It feels heavier than you'd think. And when you're laying in bed trying to play a game like this and you're forced to use the touchscreen or controls you don't like to play it, it's very frustrating. Oh, there's Rotaka. And I got a handy feature here. I've set the button so that whenever I tap this button, I'm going to swap screens. Very handy. So let's dive into solo. So because I've set the game up to aim with the D-pad, I now have this set here so I can play more like a twin-stick shooter. I think you have to do this every time. I had good settings by setting these three on.
It's been too long, Lady Palutena. We can chat later, Hit, but now it's time to fight.
So it's running pretty smooth. It's a pretty stable 30. I can use the right stick to aim, which is what I wanted so badly when I played this on the 3DS. This is one of the reasons I love emulation. I forget every time I should turn this down for the videos. You know what, I can turn that up a little bit. Yeah, I really wanted to play this on the 3DS, but I could never comfortably play it. So using the stick here is so great. And one of the things I was so surprised is, so this is my second screen. So there's a tiny bit slow down there because this massive Medusa model is coming. I can still use the second screen to aim, and it's very intuitive. It feels very good to aim with that. And you can customize your screens, so you can have this a bit higher, a bit lower, which is fantastic. This is also another good opportunity to recommend getting the screen protector with the Odin Pro, because you'll be touching this thing a lot, and I die a little inside when I see a scratch on a screen on a device I really like. Oh? Okay, so when something big is going to load, it looks like you can't really avoid a little bit of a hitch, but this is also on 2x resolution. It feels really comfortable to use my thumb and play like this, but I'm going to go back to the stick because it's, I know I'm going to feel comfortable playing this way. I know a lot of people argued actually you should play this game with a touchscreen because you need the speed and accuracy of when the harder difficulties and later on in the game. I think I only did like 3 levels on the 3DS. But yeah, besides these little hitches, which don't it doesn't bother me terribly, it's running very well, very playable. And if you ask me, I would sacrifice, I wouldn't mind these little hitches just to have the way I want to play this game. I don't think I've actually tested this game at 1x. So it could be a lot smoother. Maybe no hitches, I have no idea. But if I can, with these emulators like PS2, GameCube, and this, I would like to get above 1x, because just that little bit of extra sharpness and detail does a lot for this device. The screen's great.
On land, you can use the touchscreen to change the direction you're facing.
Can I skip this? Yeah, yes I can. So, for me, just being able to play this more like I'd like to makes this game much more playable and more fun. I was always surprised you couldn't use the C-stick to aim. Like, the C-stick on the 3DS would also move as well, which didn't make any sense to me. This music's fantastic too. Alright, we're getting some dips. It's about 25 frames. So I would be considering lowering the resolution to 1x. But I figure this stuff out as I play. You know what, let's try... I've forgotten how to play on foot. Is he gonna die? Is he... Also, I wanted to say that I've been watching some videos recently of Odin, and a lot of people are recording the sound directly. And you know, it's great to hear it like that, but I think it does a lot to hear the speakers, the actual device itself. You also hear like the little stutters and things more. Like that. Anyway, yeah, that's a good little test of that game. Seems very playable to me. I enjoy that. So what I will do is exit the game. If I wanted to play something else, I would just quickly go over to the input bindings. I'd quickly map the D-pad back to the way it was and probably put the right stick back to C-stick. So let's have a quick look at the same game, but on the 3DS. I have this, and I have the 2DS XL, and I actually started to realize that, so if you don't like the 3D effect, you, obviously, like most people, are going to turn this off, and I have to turn it off for the video, obviously. I actually quite like the 3D effect. It's one of the reasons I really wanted to purchase this, because it's a nice little thing. But this is my custom menu of one of my albums. My name is Alex Rowe. I also compose music for video games and remix music from Dark Souls and so on. Anyway, I have lots of games on this device. Far too many. It was really fun modifying this, and I think some people are mostly interested in playing only the most retro stuff. So when it comes to the 3DS, for example, because you have the two screens, this is always going to be the best way to play your 3DS, 2DS games. And when it comes to like more retro games, like we have these injected games here, like Breath of Fire. These would actually be pretty fantastic on the Vita, or you know, I'll get the 2DS. I don't know why I didn't get it. This is my 2DS XL. It's very shiny. I had to get these secondhand, but they were in pretty good quality, and I used a PlayStation stick here to replace the C-nub because the C-nub's terrible. This is so light and very, very pocketable. I got a rubber cover, which I quite liked. I thought it worked very well, but it looked horrible on the underside, so I got this like see-through plastic one. Maybe this doesn't... Oh, it has battery. Yeah, it has battery. Let me shut that one up. I was going to do a comparison. We got carried away. This stuff happens. This is actually... Yeah, I would almost call it a perfect little device. I played a bunch of Tetris on here, but honestly, if you want to play like some old DS or even like Super Nintendo games or whatever, Mother 3 with a translation patch. I'm looking for a SNES game. Is there any more over here? I have less games on this device, but look, Terranigma. Terranigma is one of my favorite games. So this is injected, I think. And you'll be using the top screen. The bottom screen's just not going to be useful at all. Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to go too into this, but if you want to play some really old games, I think this is the perfect device for it. It's so slim and pocketable. Loads of horrible fingerprints, though. I did and ah about using that. Anyway, but see, the 3DS is a lot heavier. I'd say only get this if you really want to use the 3D effect. Right, let's see if I can find Kid Icarus very quickly. Pretty sure it's on the front page because I put all my 3D games there. So yeah, I only got to chapter 2 in this. You know what I'll do is I'll go to options and I'll go to controls, reticule. We'll do an air barrel. And then on the Odin, we will do the same thing. Except I'll turn down the volume. Hello. So you can tell the Odin screen's a bit better, obviously because it's 1080p. You'll see on the 3DS screen there's like you can see that effect, that graininess. You can actually see that up close, but yeah, this is one of the reasons I couldn't play this game, because what am I using I'm using the buttons to aim, which is not a good feeling at all. Otherwise you have to use the I just don't like playing like this. It feels weird. I know you can customize the sensitivity, but especially when you're laying in bed and this device, after about 20 minutes or even less, you start to feel it on your wrist, like it's really like pulling down, and you're just not having a very good time with it. Which is why it's fantastic with a device like this, which is a lot lighter. Customize it the way you like. Fantastic. Anyway. That's enough of the 3DS. I really wasn't sure where I was going to go with this comparison video. I know I wanted to have a look at, for example, Duck Station. One thing I remember testing here, it is the first game, Alundra. I'll turn the volume back up. Alundra is a pretty cool RPG. It's kind of like a Zelda-like, but it has some darker tones and lots of puzzles. Lots of puzzles. And then we have the Vita here. Oops. Getting used to the power button over here. I had some problems with this not recently, when I last opened it, because I need to do some tweaking and fix some settings. I think if I go into the settings of Adrenaline and start trying to change some buttons or something, it just crashes. But yeah, you can see the Vita is smaller. It's very, very light. I'm a big fan of the Vita. I think it's amazing. And very pocketable. RPGs. I don't know if I've got a save state. I might have to load game. But this Vita has an OLED screen, I think. Is that what it is? Yeah, shush that. Yeah, and so you got this little screen, but it's very, very sharp, very nice, but smudgy. You can see my fingerprints at the top. It does start to get very smudgy. I don't have a screen protector on this. So as I was saying with the 3DS, it's nice to be able to play games on the hardware. The DS, GBA, and 3DS all work perfectly. And then you got the Vita, which plays PS1, PSP, and PS Vita games on hardware. If that kind of thing interests you, I say it's a very good investment to get this stuff. Get one of these on eBay before they're like too high a price or whatever. Oh yeah, I gotta move to the book. I actually got a lot further than this. I think I like loaded state and then it like overrided the memory card. That always surprises me. Anyway, you get strong colors on this. It's quite bright. And now we're going to compare the two, because when I'm going to turn that down. I've got other hacks on here to like make the volume even louder, because with DuckStation, this is at like 1080 or 4x or something. And I was surprised how good everything looks here on the Odin, especially emulated. I'm going to go out into a brighter area if it'll let me. It's not going to let me out. That's a window. It's not a door, it's a window. Great. You know, when you play games, just don't vocalize what you're doing. Wait, that's a weird button to press. What would be the square button? I'll just play through this part and then go outside. And it's like in widescreen as well, which is also fantastic. Let's have a look at this here on the Vita. Turn the volume back up. I don't know if it's the camera, but I think you can tell on the Odin it's actually a little bit sharper. And that's because of the increased resolution. But if you can still get a PS Vita for like, and I recommend this one actually, not the Slim. I had the Slim first. I eventually got this out of curiosity and I realized I really like the screen. So if you can get one of these in really good condition for £100 or less, $100 or less, whatever, wherever you're from, and if you like travel a lot and you prefer a smaller system in your pocket, good battery life too, this is going to be awesome. So let's look at this one again. Oh, why is it frame dips? No. Maybe if I go in and out. Oh, that's strange. Hang on a sec. Alright, I just quit it and started it again. I don't know why that slowed it down. There we go. It looks so good. If you're like me, you were a 90s kid, you played all sorts of RPGs. I was a big RPG fan. There's a lot of nostalgia with these, but you know, it's the golden age for a reason. A lot of these games are fantastic. Anyway, right, so I've done some comparisons. Let's just do some odds and sods to like close out the video. So I recently got Skyline, and someone in one of my videos commented about Skyline and Wii U. From my understanding, CEMU is a Wii U emulator, but it's open source now. So if anybody wanted to code and bring that emulator to Android, it's completely possible. But okay, that's weird. Then there's potential for that in the future. But right now we have Skyline for Android, and this is like the only game on Switch that runs perfectly. And it's actually pretty fucking cool that you can do this. I want to say that I do own this game on the Switch. I have a Switch and bought a lot of things on it. You should support the developers and so on. But as a piece of software on this device doing what it does, it's impressive to see this and seeing the progress they're making with that emulator as well. From what I've played of this, it hasn't dipped once. But, you know, don't go thinking that because you can play this, you can play everything. You can't. There's a lot of things that don't even boot. And there's a lot of games which are not running at a great frame rate. I'm not going to show them, but Celeste runs at about 20 frames, maybe less. That's in levels. When you're out the level, there's a big 3D world. There's a big model to show you progress, and that really slows down the game. I personally would be very interested if you could get Streets of Rage 4 running on the Switch emulator. Oh no. However, if you do want to play Streets of Rage 4, you completely can do that with Game Pass on the cloud. It's that might actually be something worth showing before my membership runs out, because I never really use it, but once in a blue moon, when I can get it for £1 for a month, I do it. If it's something I've been interested in checking out. But yeah, you know, this area is 3D, and they've managed to get it working very well. So I have high hopes that in the near future they will start making big strides. It just seems like it's on a per game basis that they have to optimize this. So recently they just made a breakthrough with Unity games. They've actually shown Hollow Knight being playable in this emulator, and even Cuphead. Cuphead is playable, not a great frame rate, playable. So, you know, it's an exciting future for this emulator. And this device as well, you know, I have a feeling you could get an Odin Pro or Odin Base in 6 months' time and have even more options than what we have right now. But yeah, look, we're doing the whole of level 1. It's not slowed down at all. And I'm not thinking about playing, I'm just jumping around and talking, as all good boys do. Yeah, we got him. Anyway, I don't want to kill him. Let's have a look at Game Pass. Man, my thumbs are all like cut up. I'm just going to bring this out for a second, just in case. I don't know if I'm showing something. Where's the games I played recently? Sorry about this dead air. So, Streets of Rage 4. It's time to renew. I'm gonna miss out in 5 days. Play. So this is on the Game Pass app. First it does this thing. I'm not actually sure if I'm on 4G or 5G at the moment. Where I am in my house, the wireless is not very good. But I've said that you can play this even on 4G and the latency's not bad. That's alright. Play story mode. I have this on the Switch. I played this a lot. It's very fun, good music. Oh, I forgot to press the settings to change the buttons from this like Nintendo setup to Xbox setup. So I'm gonna be pressing the wrong buttons, I think. Okay, yeah. So right now, I really not feel it. I can feel like the tiniest bit of latency, but I reckon it's literally because I may be on 4G and I'm in the back of the house, so I'm not going to get a good signal. But I think it's pretty awesome that you can do this. This is a very fun game to play. I didn't play any of the DLC. I literally only played it when it came out. Getting a bit of choppiness, but it's literally because of my internet connection. When I've had very stable internet connection the entire time, it's been fantastic to play. The only downside really, I can't really see it on this game much, surprisingly. Maybe because it is like mostly quite static, like the backgrounds are mostly static, is you'll start to see some video compression, and that's pretty much because you're streaming the game to your handheld. This is why I'd actually be quite interested in seeing this working on the Skyline emulator, because I think if that's a game they focused on, they could get that up and running in the near future. Oh, up and jump. So I went to press this button, it's not jump. What's this button? I don't know what this button does. But I guess I'll show you for the sake of it. It's, I'll quit the game because I'm not going to play anymore. It's just faster if I do this. Oh my god, it won't go. So, there we go. If I go top down, no, if I go to settings and then go to system, actually no, it's not. Odin settings, and then I go down to ABXY mode, I can change it to Xbox. So that'll be A, that'll be B, and so on. So that helps a lot when playing games on the cloud. Obviously I don't need to do that anymore. I did want to have a quick show of, I think it's in this emulator, I have been testing out Spider-Man and Rogue Leader in different emulators to see if any of them play better, because it came to my attention the other day that Spider-Man 2 runs better in MMJR2 than it does in MMJR, and it's, for some reason, the accuracy of the emulator is what makes the game run better. Let's get rid of this. So I got up to level 2. And let's. You got to turn all the stuff on again. Quick settings. I think I can turn those on. I can't remember what I needed. I don't know if that reset. But in level 2, right, so you get like a bit of stutter here and there. But when it's running well, it's actually running quite well. I just wanted to show this off, just so that you know that if you think MMJR is the only way to get some of these games up and running the way you need them to be, then that's not completely true. So if you are playing a GameCube game in MMJR, it's not working, this is why it's a good reason to have the official build of Dolphin and MMJ and MMJR2, because you'll likely see some differences. Oh no. Should we kill the good guys ourselves?
We could use more support over here.
I find it like literally impossible to find the enemies when looking at my preview screen. I'm not looking at the Odin to play. I'm looking at my capture. But yeah, in my other video, we were getting about 30 frames. And it was okay. I was saying that it was kind of playable. This is a lot better. Obviously, the Death Star was kind of tough. That always just seems to be a hard level to test. I'd love to see more levels playing this, so I may check it out a bit more. But I think this is pretty much the best you're going to get it on this device. The same goes for Spider-Man 2. I do have a save, because... So, is it in this emulator? So, that looks promising, right? That's kind of promising. But wait for it. It's about to get very bad. And this is when it's like this. This is when it's completely unplayable. Just wanted to show in a different emulator that you can... what I had before was, on the MMJR, was Spider-Man 2 with... the sound was good, but the frame rate was like 15. And it was stable-ish, but not playable. Whereas in this emulator, same deal in the MMJR2, is you have these like moments when it's really smooth, but then it's obviously doing something, and I don't know what, and it just decides, no, like there, no, don't want to do it, don't want to work. But then completely fine. I believe it's because it's like finished streaming the data of the area it's currently in. And then you move. Oh no. And then it's bad. It's a shame, because I would have been interested in playing this one. So I think the only option you have left here is maybe Aether SX2, which I haven't tried yet. Anyway, it's not great to see a game performing as well as you'd like. So, yeah, I've tried, I've tested. Unfortunately, don't think we're going to get Spider-Man 2 working very well. So, yeah. It would have been cool if I did some streaming. Maybe one time I'll do a video where we like stream the PlayStation 4, because I'd like to show, for example, like, so with the Vita, you can do PlayStation 4 remote play. So I actually played Bloodborne on this, like, again, and the only downside really was that because you can't click these buttons in, there's no L3 or F3, you have to use like the back touchpad and the front to do some of the buttons, and it's very awkward, and they don't let you customize it. So I reckon playing Bloodborne by streaming it on here is actually going to be really fun, as long as the connection's stable. So I'll give that a try again sometime. What else? I know a guy asked me about Bloodstained. Now, this would be a good opportunity for me to think of things to talk about, because you start this game, it takes forever to load. Like, absolutely forever. Which is a shame. I can't think of a good reason why it needs to do that. I think maybe they just... I don't know. It's a shame that the Switch port of this game isn't that fantastic either. So this must be like... I don't want to say a worse port, because it's playable. But this loading is terrible. Just... Excuse me. Put a stopwatch on the screen. Just... it's going to take forever. It really does. You know, a couple of times I just thought it crashed or it wasn't going to work. But it does. You just have to wait this long. This long. I'd like to try some more Android games. I've been trying forever to try and get Trials of Mana on the Odin, and I know a few people have managed to do it, and I was really hoping that maybe one person would be able to help me. Because you can't even just sideload it, because like Google Play has to confirm it. The buttons do work, but I think in the start you do have to like touch some stuff. Yeah, if I ever figure out how to get Trials of Mana work, because it works on the Odin, but if you go try and buy it from Google Play, it won't let you. It will say it's an incompatible device.
I know, and the hell he endured 10 years near him.
So the only true way I think you can do it is try and like somehow convince Google Play that you have got it and sideload it so that the device will play it, and then yeah. Because I actually do want to play it. It's annoying. It's very frustrating when the one game you want to play is the one game you can't get on the device for some reason. So the buttons are a little bit odd. You may have to change what I said before with the Xbox button setup, so you swap A, B, and X, Y over. Let's just use the touch. Put those Kung Fu shoes on. So everything is pretty much mapped. There is a button for everything, but you can still touch stuff if you want. This game runs at around 25 to 30 frames, I'd say. Was that a shard?
I know my body's limp, and I'm going to if I run into...
Oh, yeah. Every time... I keep thinking about this whenever I play this. Uh-oh. Bye-bye. Is, you know, I really like the ergonomics of this device. Everything about it I really like. But just listen to these buttons. I'm going to get them close to the microphone. Oh, wait. I'll turn down the volume. It's like bubble wrap. It's very soothing. No, don't turn it off. Oh, not too loud. Very nice. Alright, so I'll play this for a little bit and just show you that it runs, but I don't know how to describe it. It's not like a smooth 30. But look, we got some jaggedness there. You'd expect this from an emulated game, so that's kind of disappointing. What? Shit, I didn't see what it said. Do you want me to... Wait, what button is it? Do I have to claw grip this shit? Because I can aim. I know. Oh, okay. Because it's confusing because the buttons there, because there's on-screen buttons as well. I don't know how you turn those off. I think someone actually asked me, how do you turn off on-screen buttons on an Android game? I don't think you can. Unless, oh, turn around. I don't think you can unless it allows you to do so in the options. So. Dude, I just remembered there's like one of like the enemy attacks you can get is like you transform into a sexy bunny woman, and the dive kick she has is strong as fuck. I played this when it came out. I'm a big Castlevania fan. I also played this on Nightmare mode, level 1. Some of the fights in that are ridiculous. I actually played that on Twitch. When did this come out? Like 2 years ago? That's crazy, dude. Crazy, crazy. Anyway, I reckon that's gonna be... That'll run like that for the entire game, you know. I think, unless you've read something about bad performance, then it's probably gonna work that way for the rest. It's just a shame about that incredibly long load time. I still keep meaning to test out Sega Saturn more. There's games on here I have that I do want to play, but I don't know, I just got to be in the mood for them. Like, I've never played Panzer Dragoon Saga. I played Disc 1. I remember at the time I loved it, but I couldn't get the game. You just couldn't get it. It's rare. It's expensive. And then obviously someday I do want to play Shining Force 3. All scenarios translated. I have them on here, but because they're like fan translated, you don't get the pictures here, which sucks. Oh wait, it's read everything twice, or even 3 times. That's well, look, if that happens, just click here and refresh game list, and it will show everything correctly. But yeah, I literally haven't really dug deep into this emulator, so that's something I'll get into. But there's some pretty fun RPGs and arcade games here. Even Deep Fear is a horror game. I have a thing for some horror games. I'd love to get into some more of those. There's a lot of them I've never actually touched. Burning Rangers, I've never played. Dark Savior is like a spiritual sequel to Landstalker. Die Hard Arcade. I have Dragon Force 1, I played that. Never played Dragon Force 2. I played Die Hard Trilogy. Guardian Heroes is pretty cool. I haven't really played that one though. So there's Panzer Dragoon Saga. All of these are going to work, by the way. They're going to work just fine. Regular Panzer Dragoon, Police Noughts. I remember looking up, finding out which version of Police Noughts is the best. And it might be Sega Saturn, but I'm not sure. Sega Saturn version of Castlevania. Never played that one. Legend of Oasis. Yeah, so there's some really cool games there I'd love to get into. Alright, so we're just over the 40-minute mark, and I haven't really got anything like special planned. So, bit of a mishmash interesting video. Maybe some of that was useful. I thought it was interesting to see a bit more of the 3DS. I only dug into one game, didn't I? So, but to be honest, I've not really tested much of these out, so I should probably do a dedicated 3DS video. I'd like to see more of Star Fox 64 personally. I play Puyo Puyo Tetris, and that works. Obviously that works fine. It's just a 2D game. I'd have to remap my buttons to look at that now, but I like playing the 150 line marathon at like a high speed. I feel like, interestingly, that's a good way for me to relax. Yeah, so you know what? We'll leave the video there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will think of some more videos to do with the Odin Pro. So, cheers. Have a good day. Bye-bye.